Ruby Rossi is a high school senior and the only hearing member of her deaf family, which includes her father Frank, mother Jackie, and older brother Leo. She spends her days working on her father's fishing boat, where she enjoys singing while she works. Ruby also acts as the translator for her family, helping them communicate with hearing people on the docks. When their income falls short, Leo suggests they sell their fish directly to customers. However, Ruby faces teasing at school for smelling like fish and having a deaf family. Ruby has a crush on Miles, and when she sees him signing up for choir, she decides to join as well. After school, her parents pick her up in a truck with blaring music. Causing her embarrassment, Ruby accompanies her parents to a doctor's appointment where she's mortified to translate their discussion about jock itch, a common ailment among fishermen. The doctor advises them not to have sex for 2 weeks, which they find impossible. At dinner, Leo swipes on Tinder. Choir class begins, and their teacher, Mr. Villalobos, asks each student to sing a bit to determine their vocal parts. When Ruby's turn comes, she becomes too nervous and emotional, fleeing the room. She goes to the water and sings alone, but later returns home to find her parents arguing over finances, with credit cards declined and bills piling up. Frank suggests they might have to sell their boat. Meanwhile, at the docks, fishermen are informed that they must pay $800 a day out of their pockets for federal observers to ensure compliance with regulations, a burden they claim they can't afford. Back at school, Ruby returns to Mr. Villalobos and shares her past struggles with being mocked for her speech. She admits she sometimes gets anxious. Later, when Mr. Villalobos finally hears Ruby sing, he is highly impressed by her voice. He selects her to perform a duet at the fall concert, pairing her with Miles. He instructs them to practice together. At the docks, Ruby discovers that Leo is selling the fish for less than their value, and they argue about it. She encounters her father outside smoking weed. At school, Mr. Villalobos notices that Ruby and Miles are completely out of sync during their duet performance. He learns that they had been practicing separately, not together. He advises them to fix it and later asks Ruby about her plans after graduation. Ruby reveals that she can't afford college, but Mr. Villalobos, an alum of the Berklee College of Music, informs her about upcoming auditions and scholarships. He asks how she feels when she sings, and Ruby responds using sign language. He offers to tutor her for the audition, but warns her not to waste his time, to which she agrees. When Ruby shares her audition plans with her mother, Jackie appears less than enthusiastic, hurting Ruby's feelings. Jackie wonders if Ruby would pursue painting if she were blind. Meanwhile, Leo suggests starting a co-op for their fish sales, but Frank dismisses the idea, believing the other fishermen don't take him seriously. Angry, Leo goes to a local bar with the fishermen, but struggles to communicate with them. After someone spills a drink on him, a bar fight ensues. Dirty, who works at the bar, communicates with Leo via text, and they end up making out in a back room. Miles comes over to work on the duet with Ruby. They sing back to back, but their practice is interrupted by the sounds of Frank and Jackie engaging in sexual activity. Ruby stops them, feeling humiliated, and endures further embarrassment when her parents sit her and Miles down for a sex talk, which she is forced to translate. At school, other students start mocking Ruby about her parents, and she angrily confronts Miles for telling them. Miles insists he only told one person, but Ruby storms off. During practice, Ruby focuses on her piece, Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell, with Mr. Villalobos encouraging her to channel her anger and sing from her emotions. Meanwhile, Ruby works tirelessly on their new fish-selling business, handling translations and maintaining her busy practice schedule. Her dedication causes tension with her choir teacher, Mr. Villalobos, who warns her not to be late again. Ruby's mother, Jackie, appears unenthusiastic about her audition plans for Berklee College of Music, hurting Ruby's feelings. At the business, a news crew interviews Frank and Jackie, and Ruby must translate for them. Ruby rushes to Mr. Villalobos' house for a practice session, but arrives late, leading him to consider ending her tutoring. She attempts to apologize, but he refuses to continue with her. Back home, Ruby argues with her family about her responsibilities and exhaustion. A disagreement between Jackie and Frank about Ruby's college plans ensues, with Jackie expressing reluctance to let Ruby go. Ruby's decision to skip work leads to the arrival of an observer monitoring Frank's boat, resulting in Frank's license suspension and significant fines. Frank suggests that Ruby become their hearing deckhand, and Ruby becomes emotional, questioning how they can blame her for everything. She eventually agrees to give up her college dreams and work on the boat, causing tension with Leo, who feels left out. Jackie buys Ruby a dress for her concert and shares her own experience of fear and uncertainty when she learned that Ruby was hearing. At the concert, the family can't hear Ruby perform, but they are told she did well. Afterward, Mr. Villalobos approaches them and expresses his belief that they are making a mistake by not allowing Ruby to attend college, but Ruby doesn't translate his words. The entire family accompanies Ruby to her Berkeley audition. Ruby is initially flustered when she realizes she left her sheet music, but Mr. Villalobos enters the room and offers to accompany her. Despite a shaky start, Ruby delivers a moving performance of both sides now while signing the words. Frank trains a new hearing deckhand, and the business starts thriving. Jackie bonds with other wives, and Miles learns some sign language. Ruby receives an acceptance into Berkeley and bids her family farewell as she departs with Gertie. She stops the car and rushes back for a group hug with her family before signing goodbye as the car drives away.